Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. At Sensory Quest, we review toys from the perspective of my daughter Elena, who is deaf-blind. Our mission is to showcase toys and gadgets that anyone can interact with and enjoy no matter your special needs. Today, we'll be looking at the Skwinkle Teether by Manhattan toy. This toy is recommended for newborns and up. The loops are made out of plastic, and everything else is made out of wood. The quality of the wood, I'll say, is very, very nice. It's got quite a weight to it, and they're very, very durable. So it's been thrown around, and some of these discs have been chewed on a little bit, and the color hasn't come off, and they just feel nice. Like, you can tell good quality wooden toys just by touching it, and I'm telling you, this is really, really nice quality. For washing, just wipe it down with a cloth or put it under some running water with some mild soap. Do not boil, steam, clean, or put this in the dishwasher because the rubber bits and the plastic will melt off. Now, the loops are soft and easy for little hands to grasp and clutch. I will say that yes, this is recommended for newborns, but even if I'm holding it like this, it's quite heavy. So for Elena, this was a little too heavy to kind of independently play with right away. I'll say that maybe after your child is a few months old, at least that's how it worked out for Elena. Obviously, if you help them play with it, it's fine. But I feel like just because of the amount of wood, depending on how you hold it and where the pieces are, it can be quite bottom heavy. So they may not be able to really lift this, and it's also because of the shape. It's got this lengthy shape, and so if they're trying to hold it and bring it to their mouth, and this other part of it will just kind of smack them in the face. So it really depends on how tiny your baby is. When they're newborn, Elena was really small, so for us this wasn't necessarily that great right from the start. But it is technically easy to grab. So once it's a decent size for your child to interact with, because of the loops, it's pretty easy to grasp. There's toys that are much easier just because they tend to be in a more circular design. So then no matter how you turn it and twist it, you can find something to grab. I find that this one, yes, it's easy once you're here, but like if you're trying to move it around, you're not always gonna find something to grab onto, especially around this part here. So I, again, wouldn't say that it's necessarily for newborns, at least not in our experience, but perhaps around 2, 3, 4 months, it might be a little easier and a little lighter. I mean, these guys are quite heavy. Don't know why they made these so heavy when these are quite light. The rings, as you can tell, they rattle around and provide some auditory stimulation. So obviously I can rattle this quite hard. Elena wasn't able to do that, so for her it was more like that. Again, it's very bottom heavy, so this motion is not that simple, especially if your child does have some difficulty with gross motor skills and just muscle tone. This might not be the best toy to start with, but it does rattle if you get it right. It's not super, super loud, so something else to keep in mind. If you're looking for a very loud rattle, this is not going to be it. And as always, if you have a child that's hard of hearing and you don't actually want every toy to make a lot of noise, or your child has no hearing like Elena, so we don't really concentrate on things that make a lot of sound, then this will be a pretty quiet toy from a rattle toy perspective. It's not going to be like that super annoying, super loud toy. Your baby can use both the plastic loops and the wooden discs for teething. I found Elena preferred the loops when she had no teeth, so just on her sore gums. This was interesting to her. And then once she got a bit of a tooth here and there, she started to be more interested in the wooden pieces. I never really found her using this centerpiece, probably because, you know, these guys move around and they're smaller and more interesting to her. Not even sure she really noticed this part here. But again, every child is different, so you never know. She was, however, disappointed that these balls didn't move. So I found that once she learned, oh, these move around and that's so fun, and she would then touch this and expect the same thing to happen, because to her, she didn't really know the difference. I'm not sure if it's because of her low vision or just because she was really young at the time, so certain concepts weren't there for her yet, but she expected that once she moved from the plastic to the wood that it would move, and these really annoyed her, so she got really frustrated that this stuff wasn't moving around, and she really wanted to manipulate everything. So even though this toy seemed quite interesting to me, it was unique, it looked different, it's not your usual circle toy, and the rattling, I don't know, it just seemed like an interesting toy. I too, by looking at it online, expected every little piece of it to move, and so I wasn't too excited when I realized that half of it, especially the heaviest part of this, is just there. So Elena didn't really love this toy for that long. I feel like she gave it a shot and she enjoyed these pieces a little bit, but I feel like once she discovered other toys and was able to interact with them a little easier and manipulate them a little easier, she kind of just gave up on this guy. So she would still pick it up every now and then, but it's not something that she would play with for very long. So I would try to introduce it with her, and although she sometimes would grab it and I'd be like, finally, you're playing with this again, she was actually just grabbing it to get it out of her way because it was blocking some other toys she was trying to get to. So again, you know, every child is different, but I feel like there's just so much of this toy that to us was pretty useless that I would not necessarily recommend this at the top of the list. I will say that it's easy to attach to a stroller or a car seat or pretty much anything, just because, you know, you attach links to either side of these two loops and you're good to go. And again, really good quality overall, like even the plastic is good quality. Granted, she didn't play with this repeatedly for months and months and months, but it just feels really good, and she did tease on the wooden pieces and she did try to play with it, and her little teeth can do some damage. I mean, our furniture will attest to that. So this is actually really good quality. The Skwinkle Teether by Manhattan Toy gets an Elena score of 5 out of 10. Thanks for watching, and if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and check out some of our other videos as well.